Awesome. So welcome to the 3 Secrets to Successfully Investing in the Hamilton Real Estate Market. I'm Tish Schoberg, licensed real estate agent within Ontario, live in the Hamilton area, been here for almost 5 years now, very familiar with all the incredible opportunities that exist here, and really excited to share with you all the opportunities that exist and what's happening in the Hamilton area. There's a lot going on. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. I know we're a couple days away from the holidays, and if you're like me, who's usually the hostess for Christmas, then you can probably relate in terms of how chaotic it is right now. So I really appreciate you joining, and really excited to bring you some great value today. So let's start. So a bit about me. So I am an award-winning real estate agent, again, based in Ontario. I've sold real estate all across Ontario. I've also sold real estate in Calgary, Alberta as well. I am a real estate investor, landlord, mother, and soon-to-be wife. I am the founder and owner of BTS Homes and Sold by Tish. I do have VIP Platinum access to many different pre-construction projects across Ontario, and of course have access to off-market coming soon and MLS opportunities as well. So today's agenda will be really straight to the point. If you've been on my webinars in the past, you know I tend to go into a lot of detail, but there's just so much great opportunity within Hamilton that I really want to go straight into the point with this webinar today, and really talk about the incredible opportunities that exist, especially the 3 secrets that are really unknown within the real estate market on how you could really successfully invest in real estate in the area. So we're going to cover the unlimited earning potential that exists within Hamilton, the current state of the real estate market and economy, because I know we're all kind of being fed different things from Bank of Canada news, from YouTube information, family and friends, coworkers. So I want to just set the record straight and really talk about the facts. Of course, go into information on Hamilton and the real estate market there, the now versus later in terms of whether you should consider buying or waiting. Of course, the 3 secrets and then 2 incredible opportunities. And then at the end of the call, you will have an opportunity to book a call with me to speak more about your situation and the different opportunities that exist. So in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how to make $25,000 to $50,000 per year by using these 3 secrets to invest in the Hamilton real estate market. Does that sound good? So I do want a bit of participation. So if you could, answer my questions in the chat by just typing yes or no, that would be great, but still stay on mute. So again, we're going to teach you how to make $25,000 to $50,000 per year by using 3 secrets to invest in the Hamilton real estate market. So who's interested in learning about that? Say yes. I want to see those yeses in the chat. Awesome. Awesome. Good. So I'm seeing some yeses come through, which is great. And if that's not enough, I also want to give you an opportunity to get an extra $86,400 in savings. How does that sound? Does that sound good? If so, pump the yeses in the chat. Awesome. Yes, yes. Enough with the inflation that we've been dealing with, right? Time to make some money. Can everyone agree? Time to make some money, right? Awesome. Okay. So you have the ability to really make unlimited earning potential with what I'm going to discuss today. You can earn $25,000 for one property annually. But if you invest in more than one property, you can double, triple, and make even more to expand your earnings. And today I'm really going to show you how this is possible and how your earning potential is really unlimited in real estate. And the point of investing in real estate is to somewhat have a ripple or domino effect, and it's to really leverage one property to buy multiple. So after this webinar, the decision really lies with you. I'm going to show you what you can do to make that type of money, but the decision is going to be yours on whether or not you choose to not take any action, make $0, make 25,000, or make $250,000 per year. Okay. And another factor is it really depends on what you invest in, where you invest, how you invest, which will be covered in the 3 upcoming secrets. So I'm going to ask that once I disclose these 3 secrets, that you're not going to use this for evil. So can you all promise me that you're not going to use it for evil? So a little, a joke there to kind of set the tone, but yeah. So let's go into more good stuff. So what's happening in the real estate market today? So I want to talk about this because, again, there's just so much going on, a lot of misinformation that's out there. And I really want to set the record straight and really give you the facts. I don't talk much about my opinion. If you know me, that's how I am. I love statistics. I'm really analytical and really love numbers. So I want to be able to give you those numbers to really make sense of what's happening. Okay, so during the pandemic, the Bank of Canada lowered their overnight rate considerably. This caused many buyers to enter the real estate market, and home prices as a result skyrocketed by over 50% in many different markets across Ontario. The rate of inflation also increased considerably from negative 0.4% in May 2020. So who remembers May 2020 when the start of the pandemic happened? We all thought the world was ending. People were being laid off. We couldn't leave our houses. Like, I hate to go back there, but there wasn't a lot of people spending during that time. So the inflation rate went down considerably. And then it peaked to 8.1% in July of this year. So since inflation hit a record high, the Bank of Canada began raising interest rates aggressively as of March 1st to help with lowering that inflation rate. So as a result, when interest rates started to go up on March 1st of this year, home prices declined in what had been one of the world's hottest housing markets, really an unstable housing market, to be quite honest. I mean, year-over-year gains of 50% is just not healthy. We like to see year-over-year gains of about 5 to 7% across real estate. So it was a very, very chaotic market. And as a result to the interest rates going up, we've seen a price drop of about 21% across homes in Canada. So because of the interest rates going up and pricing going down, some buyers grew fearful of buying, and unfortunately, some no longer qualified. This caused the rental market to increase in demand and to skyrocket in price, proving that the housing demand was still very present. Rental prices increased in many parts of Ontario, and rental rates on average increased to just over 20%. And then in terms of the inflation rate, so I really want to show you on the graph where things were back in May of 2020, when we all thought the world was ending and couldn't leave our house and had to be in bubbles and all that fun stuff. So negative 0.4% is where inflation rates sat back in May of 2020. Then it slightly began to go up, and then just skyrocketed to 8.1 in July, and is now finally beginning to go down. Okay. And if we look at the last 10 years, the inflation rate usually hovers around the 2 mark, which is really healthy. That's where the Bank of Canada wants the inflation rate to be. So the fact that it peaked to 8.1 in July of this year really, really was an issue, right? And that's why we've seen that aggressive approach to reducing that inflation rate. And yeah, we want it to be in that 2 mark, and that's really their goal. And this is the graph that really shows how quickly the inflation rate went up from February of this year to now December. So we're starting at the overnight rate of just under 0.5 and went all the way up to over 4. Okay, so they were very aggressive in their approach. They've definitely hinted at beginning to slow down on increasing rates. So we'll have to see in the new year what that entails, but I think we all agree that a slowdown is much needed. So what does the future have in store? So as the Bank of Canada continues to curb inflation by rising that overnight rate, the inflation rate has started to go down. It has already gone down to 6.8% as of November. So we've seen that peak of 8.1 and it's now gone down to 6.8, which is amazing. The Bank of Canada will then begin to lower their overnight rate gradually, and mortgage interest rates will also begin to decrease, which is great news. This will increase the amount of buyers who qualify for a mortgage, and this will also allow the interest on borrowing money to be lower, and this will also cause an increase in pricing and buyer demand. So what does the future have in store for real estate? The demand for housing is currently being driven by many factors. We're dealing with critical low housing inventory. So, and that's usually in part because of many different restrictions. We do have the Greenbelt legislation, which restricts where housing can be built within various parts of Ontario. There has been a recent proposal of potentially building on the Greenbelt. So we'll see what comes of that. We also have low builder housing supply. The builders are not building enough housing to meet the demand of houses that we need. We have an incredible high immigration rate, and that's largely been due to the absence of new immigrants coming due to the pandemic over the last 2 years. And we're now projected to expect 1.5 million new immigrants in the next 3 years. I have no idea where these people are going to be going. I think that that's a very bold number that our government is aiming to achieve. So we'll see how that pans out. We still have record low interest rates in comparison to especially the last 20 years plus. And we do have more people working remotely. We still have record low unemployment rate of only 5.1, and rental properties are expensive and competitive. The average rent in, for example, Toronto just hit $24.63 in June of this year. So that's an annual increase of about 20%. Then let's talk about Hamilton. So the lovely city of Hamilton. Hamilton will always have a place in my heart. I not only live out here, I purchased my first property in Hamilton almost 5 years ago, and just a beautiful city through and through. So much to do here. So really want to just educate you on the region. And if you haven't been to the area, I would recommend taking a drive, seeing what Hamilton's all about during the day and during the night. There's just so much that's going on in the Hamilton area. So I definitely want to talk about some of the facts with Hamilton. So the population size is just over 800,000, which is actually greater than Mississauga, which I'm sure a lot of people didn't know. Mississauga's population currently stands at just over 700,000. That was not the case as of 2017. So the population in Mississauga and in Hamilton was just hovering around that 500,000 mark back in 2017. But people began to see how affordable the Hamilton region was in the last 5-6 years and began immigrating here and began buying up properties here. And that's why our population increased so much over the last couple of years. Okay. We also have two very well-known post-secondary institutions. We have McMaster University. It has more than 34,000 undergraduate students, but can only accommodate housing for about 3,900 students. We also have Mohawk College, has about 33,000 students. We do have two GO stations, a local transit route. We have the QEW and Highway 403, which is very different to the 401. I find the 401 to have a ton more traffic, a ton more accidents in comparison to the QEW and the 403. And, Hamilton, if you look at Hamilton on a map, it is really in a great central location. It reminds me a bit of Toronto in that sense of it just being really centrally connected to a lot of major cities. I mean, you're an hour from Toronto. I could actually get to Etobicoke in 40 minutes from Hamilton. You're 40 minutes to Mississauga, an hour to Kitchener, 45 minutes to Niagara Falls, 30 minutes to Brantford, an hour to Brampton. It's just really a central located city, which makes commuting to other major cities that much easier. And again, the city is just beautiful with stunning waterfalls, trails, parks, ton of entertainment and things to do. Great restaurants as well, I must add. So what's been going on in the Hamilton region and what's to come? Oh goodness, where to start? There's a saying that says, the thing is follow the money. And what I mean by that is where big corporations are investing, where a lot of investors are investing, where municipalities and cities are putting a lot of their money, is where you want to be investing in. So there's actually a $140 million redevelopment project that's happening to transform the Hamilton waterfront. It will feature a ton of affordable housing, retail spaces, and more. There's also a new LRT line that will feature 17 stops. So there's $3.4 billion being put into that alone. Hamilton is also ranked as top 5 in Canada for quality tech labor, which is just insane, and top 2 for mid-sized talent labor pool growth. There is a $500 million investment being put into the new entertainment hub, which will also include the First Ontario Centre, which is a huge concert hall. So not only am I a landlord, but I have experience with doing Airbnbs in Hamilton as well. And the demand for that, especially with the First Ontario Centre and all the concerts that happen there, is extremely high. So I'm glad that they're expanding that, and it's incredible what will become of that area. There is a robust increase in population growth projected to 236,000, over 100,000 new jobs coming in the next couple of years. And there's also a new deal that happened, a $518 million deal to create an industrial park, which will create 23,000 new jobs and inject about $3.8 billion into Ontario's economy. So a lot of incredible stuff. But I really want to break down some of the top reasons to invest. And the first is positive net migration. I mean, Hamilton's population is more than Mississauga. I mean, that in itself is just incredible, right? So we're almost at 1 million people in Hamilton. It was just, over 500,000 in 2018. We have 2 large post-secondary institutions, McMaster University, Mohawk College, very transit-oriented, 2 GO stations, local public transit, and a future LRT. We have high housing demand. Oh, goodness. So Hamilton's housing market is facing critical low supply with just 157 condos for sale on the MLS as of yesterday. And there's over 5,400 monthly Google searches for condos in Hamilton. So that gap is extreme, okay? We have a low vacancy rate. So as of October of 2021, Hamilton has one of the lowest vacancy rates in Ontario of only 2.8%. To compare, Toronto's vacancy rate is 4.5%. And again, I love this saying, follow the money. Invest where these big corporations, cities, and other investors are buying property. And another reason to invest in Hamilton is affordability. So the average house price in Hamilton in November is at $761,244. The average house price in Toronto, to compare, in November is just over $1 million. And of course, Hamilton has very high rental rates, rental demand. So as of recently on the MLS, there's only 116 rental condos for lease, yet there's 13,700 Google searches a month for rental condos. Whenever I have my rental unit that is vacant, and whenever I'm looking for tenants, I don't even use the MLS. I just use Kijiji. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Kijiji. And there's good reason why I don't have to use the MLS, because on Kijiji, I get hundreds of people that are begging for my rental unit, trying to pay more for my rental unit, trying to give me a year's amount of rent up front for my rental unit. So, and that includes, we actually have the Tiger Cats football team here, and we have some of those football players that are also looking to rent as well. I'm telling you, the rental demand here is insane. It is something that I've quite honestly never seen before. So just know that we definitely have really high rental demand within the Hamilton area. I'm talking from experience. But again, I definitely love numbers. So let's get into the numbers. So this is just to compare what a 2-bedroom is going for in the Hamilton area, the downtown Hamilton area, in comparison to other parts of the GTA. So currently 2-bedrooms are going for about $3,125 in downtown Hamilton. To compare, Oakville, you're looking at about $2,900, Mississauga, about the same, Toronto, downtown core, about $3,400. It's a little bit more than the downtown Hamilton core, which is expected. And then North York, just at $3,076. So downtown Hamilton 2-bedrooms are currently renting for more than North York, Toronto. That is insane, right? And again, if you think about, and I want to compare Hamilton again to Mississauga, because if you think about the population, we almost have the same population as Mississauga. But when you come to the Hamilton area, and sometimes people ask me, oh, you know, how's the condo market in Hamilton? And I look to them and I say, what condo market? We don't have anywhere near as much condos in Mississauga. We have condos that are going to be coming at a bit of a slow pace, but I mean, the condo market here, guys, is just, there's not a lot of condos in the Hamilton area, and this is what's driving the rental rates up, and the rental demand continues to increase. Okay, and I think even in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't think we're even going to have half of the amount of condos that Mississauga has. So that rental rate is just going to continue to skyrocket year over year. And then again, I want to get into even more numbers. So pulled up some information from the real estate regional MLS board. I want to focus on, the apartment/condo numbers. So if you look at what's been happening year over year, we see about a 6% increase in condo prices in the Hamilton area. Other home types have, of course, gone down a bit, and that's common. With the interest rates going up, we've seen that happen in various different areas across Ontario. But the condo prices are just going up, right? And not only that, in terms of new listings, condo listings are one of the lowest in comparison to other home types. Compared to detached at 500, right? Just really low amount of inventory. Days on market, the lowest in comparison to all other home types. Okay, so the condo market in Hamilton, again, in my opinion, is pretty much non-existent for now. Okay, so the inventory is very, very low. And then when we look at what's happened in terms of price growth in Hamilton in the last 10 years, we can see that pricing has substantially increased in Hamilton in the last 10 years, right? And if you compare it to where we were in 2020, when that lovely pandemic happened, and when we compare where numbers were at the peak, which was early this year, values have almost doubled in certain areas. Okay, so I mean, pricing in Hamilton has just continued to skyrocket and will continue to do so. for many years to come. And some people they've reached out to me and they say, Tish, I really want to wait until interest rates go down to buy. And I said, okay, if you want to wait until interest rates go down, just know that does come with risk. In this type of market, there's a lot more power that buyers have, a lot more negotiating room, a lot more better incentives that builders are offering. Sellers are more motivated, so you can get a really good deal on a home, and then you can always refinance and get a lower rate at a later time. But I really want to show you the risk in waiting, okay? Because right now, pricing in Hamilton has just gone up so much, but I want to show you what's happened in the span of only 4 months. So November of 2021, the average price for all house types was about $835,000, okay? And that's November of 2021, okay? In 4 months, the average price went up to 1.01 million. That's almost a 200,000 price increase in 4 months. When I tell you the market was insane and chaotic, I mean, there's the numbers, guys. It was unhealthy, okay? So I get the Bank of Canada's approach to trying to tame the market, but when the Bank of Canada begins to lower that interest rate, we're going to have a lot less negotiating power. We're going to have a lot less motivated sellers, and the pricing increase will be happening pretty rapidly. Okay, so the financial benefit of buying now as opposed to waiting. So of course you can build generational wealth for you and your family. You can buy low and sell high, and that's always the mentality we want investors to have. Home prices are low, so now is a great time to buy. Interest rates go up and down. They don't stay stagnant, okay? House pricing as well, up and down, doesn't stay stagnant. But in the last 48 years, they've consistently increased. So if you're, if you're an investor that wants to buy a home right now to flip in 6 months or a year, I'm going to tell you that comes with a lot of risk. We always tell investors to try to buy property that they can hold on to for at least 5 years. That way, if there are little dips in the market, you're still going to see that appreciation over a 5-year term, okay? This is no longer a quick flip market. That comes with a lot of risk. And you know what? It always came with a lot of risk. There are some investors that got away in the last couple of years with making that little 6-month quick flip, and there might be some small opportunity for that in this market, but it comes with a lot of risk, right? So you just have to be cautious of that. In the winter, builders are more motivated to sell their existing inventory so you can get great deals. And of course, real estate is one of the safest investments one can make. We have better incentives, more negotiating power in the winter, less competition, and you could really buy a resale home now and refinance when rates are low if that's your concern. So I love this quote by Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett, very known philanthropist, over 100 billion net worth. So, we want to listen to what Warren has to say. He's one of the richest men in the world. And he says, if you don't make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. And I think with inflation and what we've seen in the last couple of years, passive income is really the key to building generational wealth for your family and really living a more comfortable life for the years to come. So let's talk about these 3 secrets. So I'm going to touch on secret number 1, which is how to use stress-free, low commitment investment options to successfully invest, how to maintain cash flow and equity that are above your expenses and cost of living to invest, and secret number 3, how to leverage resources So buyer programs, loans, friends, family, savings, etc., to invest and take advantage of these incredible opportunities. So secret number one. So we want to leverage real estate investment options. Okay, again, it's one of the safest investments that you can make. Rarely will you see your investment lose value, and if so, it usually is for a very short period of time. With currency like the dollar, real estate doesn't lose value to inflation year after year. It performs better. If you have 100,000 right now in your bank account, it's losing value year over year with inflation. If you have 100,000 in a real estate investment over a span of a couple of years, it's not losing value. Okay. Smart investors can even set themselves up well in down markets by buying value add assets, such as many did after the housing bubble burst in 2008. You have the opportunity to really build generational wealth, and it can be passed down through generations, right? That's the advantage of real estate. And there are multiple ways of investing in real estate. A lot of ways that I'm sure some of you don't even know of, okay? So let's talk about those ways, right? So, you want investment options that pose the least amount of risk, such as investments with low cost, the least amount of maintenance, the least amount of fees, the least amount of down payment upfront, the least amount of deposit, low commitment, an emphasis on the low stress. Okay, and there are a few options that you have. The first is you can buy a pre-construction home. I'll talk about the pro and cons of those. You can buy an assignment home. Okay, so a pre-construction home is pretty much you purchasing a agreement of sale for a home that's going to be built in the future. Okay, so that's pre-construction. Assignment is a home that you're purchasing from a buyer who's purchased directly from a builder and is selling before completion. We're seeing a lot of those. We're seeing some really great deals for those right now because some people are very motivated to sell. And then, of course, there's buying off-market resale homes. With that, you have to be very careful with how you do that. You want to involve an experienced real estate agent. You don't want to just go to a wholesaler or speak to an owner directly and use lawyers to buy off-market properties. I've heard of horror stories of doing that. You just have to be careful with those off-market properties. And then, of course, there's buying your typical MLS resale home as well. So pros and cons of buying pre-construction. Oh goodness, where to begin? So with pros, you're able to pay your down payment over time, not all at once. So a lot of the time, builders have very stretched out extended deposit structures. You're buying a new home that you can personalize and usually requires a lot less maintenance. It's brand new. You don't have to worry about tenants until closing. You don't need a mortgage if you choose to assign it before closing. You can start to build equity with less hassle. So flexible options for move-in. Some are move-in ready, some are closing in 2028. You have many incentives such as extended deposit structures, cashbacks, and more. You can lock in today's interest rate for the future, but don't pay any mortgage or interest until closing, which a lot of people tend to not know of. Okay, so you can lock in interest rate for the future with pre-construction. And you don't have to worry about paying property tax. The cons is that you can't move into the unit right away or the home right away. Sometimes projects do have delays. It's actually very common. Typically 3 to 6 month delays happen. And although rare, there is a risk of the project canceling. That's why it's very important that you're purchasing with a reputable builder who has a great track record of delivering on their project. The pros and cons of resale. So the pros are that you're able to pay a minimum down payment. You have potential for positive cash flow right away. You're getting that rental income on a monthly basis. You can negotiate prices and terms a lot easier. You can get an inspection done on the home and financing. You can move in right away and can lock in a low interest rate. The cons is that you'll need to take out a mortgage at closing. Closing is usually within that 1 to 3 month span. You'll have to close on a home with no option to assign. Deposit and down payments aren't very extended. Maintenance issues can arise, especially if you purchase an older home. Tenant issues may arise if you have bad tenants. And then you can't choose your features and finishes. You're just buying the home as is. Okay, so there's pros and cons to both. And secret number 2, how to maintain cash flow and equities that are above your expenses and cost of living to invest. So you want to look for real estate investment options that are cash flow positive, cash flow neutral, or temporary cash flow negative. And, I want to emphasize the temporary and cash flow negative because sometimes you come across an investment opportunity. Yeah, you're cash flow negative $100 per month, but if you're making $50,000 a year on equity, isn't it worth it? Right? So you have to look at the numbers, and real estate investment is all about the numbers. Okay, and to make sure it makes sense for you over at least a 5-year term. You want to invest in an area that has great growth potential, such as strong population growth, that's very transit oriented, has post-secondary schools, home values have appreciated in the last 5 years, which is pretty much everywhere in Ontario. You want to ensure that there's good rental income and rental demand. Master plan communities are ideal. They do tend to appreciate in value at a faster rate. And you want to invest in an area that has as low as possible carrying costs. And Hamilton checks all of these boxes. How to leverage your resources. So you guys have a lot of resources that you probably don't know of. And you might have resources within your own household that you don't know of. So let's talk about that. So for first-time home buyers, a lot of people don't know, you just need a minimum down payment of 5% to be able to purchase your primary home. For an investment property, you do need a minimum of 20%. There's something called a home buyer's plan program that allows you to withdraw money from your RSP to buy or build a quality home for yourself or related person with a disability. There's also the first-time home buyer shared equity program. You can take out a loan for pre-construction purchases. You can buy with family, friends, or borrow money from family and friends. So I have a lot of investors that purchase properties together. And then your first property doesn't have to be your dream home. And I think a lot of, especially first-time home buyers, they think of that 4-bedroom, detached, big backyard, beautiful 2-story home. But the reality is you just want to enter the market and start to build your equity, build your real estate portfolio. And then once you have enough equity and money, you can utilize that to then purchase your dream home in the future. It's all about just entering the market, guys. And then, of course, for existing homeowners, you can take out what is called a home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC loan, which is a secured form of credit. So what the lender does is they use your home as a guarantee that you'll pay back the money that you borrow. A lot of people didn't know about this option. I think in the last 2 years when we had that lovely pandemic, a lot of more people became informed of HELOC options and leveraged that to buy multiple properties, which is amazing. You could also refinance your current property at a higher amount than the balance you owe and use this money to buy more properties. Another amazing opportunity there. A lot of people are sitting on a ton of equity. Even with prices going down a bit in the last couple of months, a lot of people have a ton of equity in their home and they don't know of these options. So, there's a lot of opportunity here to leverage these resources to increase your portfolio. You, of course, can buy with family, friends, or borrow money from family and friends. And of course, you can then, sell your high equity property to purchase multiple low cost investment properties. So if you have a property, a detached home, maintenance is becoming a lot of upkeep. You've had it for 15, 10 years, gotten a lot of equity, you can sell it to purchase 2 condos, right? If you qualify. Condos are a lot less maintenance, especially pre-construction condos. Less maintenance, less headaches, less stress. And another quote, so 90% of all millionaires become So through owning real estate, more money has been made in real estate than in all industrial investments combined. The wise young man or wage earner of today invests his money in real estate. And that's by Andrew Carnegie, who is a philanthropist. At one point was also one of the richest men in the world. And what I love about him is he's actually a staple in the steel industry. And to those that don't know, the Hamilton area is known as Steel Town. So I think that this quote is so fitting. But yeah, if you look at the portfolio of many millionaires, you know, they may rent a property here and there, but boy, do they own multiple different types of real estate, right? So that's the way of the future. I don't think in this type of economy, I don't think a working wage or a salary is going to be enough for the future. I think real estate is really going to be the way to build wealth and to live sustainably over the next couple of years. So I know I've shared quite a bit of information. So who's feeling a little overwhelmed? You're feeling overwhelmed, you could put yes in the chat. That's fine. I know it's a lot of information that I've shared. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, that's okay. I'm going to make things really, really simple for you. And, you know, there's a ton of different opportunities within the real estate market, but I really want to share two really, really incredible opportunities, okay? And I want to call these once in a lifetime opportunities because we've never seen these type of opportunities in the real estate market in Hamilton before. Okay, if you go to normal real estate agent, they probably won't even know about these opportunities existing. Go to family and friends, they probably don't know about these opportunities. It's really kind of a hidden secret. So let's get into what this is. So the first is a pre-construction project by the name of 75 James Condos. It's located in the downtown Hamilton core. The move-in date is winter of 2026. This condo will feature 35 stories. It's going to be within walking distance to GO Station and Hamilton's future LRT, walking distance to McMaster University's downtown campus. And what this builder is giving you is the free right to assign the unit before closing, valued at $5,000. And what that means is you do, again, have the option to sell the unit for profit before closing. So if you make $150,000 on this unit in the next 3 years, you have the option of selling it for profit, getting your money, and then reinvesting into other properties. Okay, so you have the right to assign, which is very important. You always want to ensure that you have that right to assign. If you do that, you don't need a mortgage. You don't deal with tenants. You don't deal with maintenance issues. You don't pay property taxes. You could then use your profit to buy more pre-construction properties. And a lot of investors and real estate agents leverage this type of opportunity. So on top of the free right to assign, they're also providing a parking discount that's valued at $20,000. So parking, some of you might not think that parking is that big of a deal. Honestly, the project is close to 2 GO stations. But what I want you to know is that parking is becoming more rare to find. And the demand for that is also beginning to increase. And pricing for parking is also increasing. So that in itself is appreciating in value. So on top of the free right to assign, parking costs being discounted, they're also giving you cap development charges. So what that is, some of you might be asking. So development charges are fees collected from developers by local municipalities to help with infrastructure for the new community. That's your schools, your roads, transit, water, and all that good stuff. When this charge is capped, you'll have no increase in development charges between when you signed your agreement and when the building closes, which is extremely important. I don't even think you can put a value on that. Some builders don't do that, and then at closing, don't know if you've seen, these buyers have these unexpected costs of $100,000, $50,000 because they don't have that development charge capped. So it's very important. So on top of the free right to assign, parking costs being discounted, you have your cap development charges. You're also getting the free right to lease during interim occupancy. Another gold mine. So the period between the occupancy date when you move in and when the condo's ownership transfers to you is known as the interim occupancy period. During this time, you'll have to pay the builder a fee known as the interim occupancy fee. You could also rent out the unit during this time and usually have that opportunity for positive cash flow because that fee is usually very little. You don't have to take out a mortgage until the unit actually fully transfers over to your name. So really great opportunity there. And in addition to that, they're offering pre-public price discount of all suites, a value of $20,000. So a $20,000 price discount off of all their units. So a total value of $53,000. Okay. But that's not it. They're offering more, and I'll go into that very shortly, but I do want to talk about the pricing. So for studios, you're looking at low 400s, one beds are at low 500s, 1+10 mid 500s, two beds are in the low 600 mark, 2+10s are in the high 800s, and three beds are going for the high 900s, again, completing in 2026. The deposit structure is super stretched out. So it's $5,000 on signing, balanced to 5% in 30 days, then 2.5% in 180 days, 240 days, 540 days, 720 days, and that remaining 5% on closing. If you buy this project and you decide to assign it, you don't have to pay that 5% on occupancy. Okay. So incredible opportunity. Then we have another opportunity called the Design District Condos that's in collaboration with Louis Vuitton. I can tell you this is going to be a staple landmark condo within the Hamilton core. There's nothing like this. So this is going to be 32 stories, also in downtown Hamilton. Move-in date is fall of 2026. It's also walking distance to the GO Station and future LRT, walking distance to McMaster U's downtown campus. One of the first condos in collaboration with a luxury retail designer. So just an incredible opportunity. It's going to be 3 buildings. So, opportunity there for a lot of price growth and price appreciation because it's considered a bit of a master plan community. So what this builder is giving is that free right to assign as well. So you can sell the unit before closing. Right, a lot of positive with being able to assign, as I said before. They're giving that free right to assign as well as the parking cost discount of about $10,000. Tons of value with purchasing parking, guys. If you don't know, parking spots in the downtown Toronto area are selling for over $100,000. At one time, it was about $20K. So, I mean, parking spots in itself are increasing in value, okay? So on top of the free right to assign, the parking cost discount, they're also capping development charges. Can you tell if they're in a bit of competition? Yeah, these two projects are, are definitely going head to head. Development charges, again, we want to make sure that those are capped. You don't have those unexpected costs at closing. I remember I had a buyer who reached out to me a couple months ago, and she said, Tish, I just closed off on a condo, and I had these unexpected costs that I didn't know existed with buying pre-construction. And I told her, I said, did you use a realtor when you bought a couple years ago? And she said, no. And I said, well, let me show you an opportunity where we can cap those development charges so you don't have any unexpected expenses. And she bought with me this incredible opportunity within a week. So she was really wowed by that. And yeah, capping these charges are very, very important, guys. You don't want unexpected costs at closing. So again, free right to assign, parking cost discount, cap development charges. You're also getting a free right to lease during interim occupancy. Again, lots of value there. That provides an opportunity for positive cash flow. You could rent it out. The builder's going to charge you a small fee. So on top of that, free right to assign, parking cost discount, cap development charges, free right to lease during interim occupancy, this builder's offering you a little bit more. Okay, so they're giving you 1 year free maintenance fee. Not a lot of condos that have sold in the last couple of years are providing this kind of incentive. So when you go to sell either as an assignment or sell in the future, that's going to have a tremendous amount of value. You're going to have buyers lining up for this condo because they're not going to have to pay 1 year free maintenance fee. Opportunity for positive cash flow again there, guys. Okay, so it can lower your carrying costs for the first year, again, giving you that potential positive cash flow with that 1 year free maintenance fee. So on top of the free right to assign, parking discount, cap development charges, free right to lease during interim occupancy, 1 year free maintenance fee. If that's not enough, they're giving you a 1 year rental guarantee that's worth $39,600. Again, rental guarantees in Ontario was unheard of a year ago. It was unheard of. So you're going to have a condo in Hamilton that's going to have a rental guarantee of almost $40,000. We're going to have people lined up to buy your unit if you decide to sell, but you might want to hold on to it and continue to gain that equity from it, right? So, the builder is pretty much guaranteeing to pay you up to $3,300 per month for 1 year, which is incredible because your rent is always paid, even if the tenant doesn't pay. It's incredible, guys. Incredible opportunity here. And if that's not enough, they decided to give you, some cash back on closing. So they're giving you an extra $20,000 on closing. So total value of $86,400. But wait, I'm going to be giving you even more opportunity for more money. So let's continue. So let's go a bit into the pricing. So studios have sold out. Studios were starting from the 400s. Those are sold out, guys. I'm sorry. But one beds, I spoke with the builder yesterday. They have a small handful of one beds left from the 500s. They have a few 1+ dens in the mid 600s, 2 beds from the high 600s, 2 bed plus dens from the high 700s, 3 beds from the high 800s. Again, move-in date is for fall of 2026. Deposit structure, one of the best I've seen, super stretched out. 5,000 on signing, balance to 2.5% in 30 days, and 2.5% in 90 days, 180 days, 210 days, 5% in 730 days, and then 1% on occupancy. Again, if you assign it, you don't have to pay that 1% on occupancy. So let's compare the two, right? Because they seem to be in competition, both projects, and it's different builders as well. Okay, so both launched fall of 2022, both in the downtown Hamilton area. The pricing for the design district is slightly higher by about $40 per square foot in comparison to the 75 James condo. They're both closing around the same time. The number of units, the design district will have over 1,000 units since it will be 3 buildings. The 75 James will have about just over 600. Both received hundreds of worksheets. And if we just base appreciation on a 5% yearly appreciation for these condos in the next 4 years, you're looking at profit of $123,913 in 4 years for the design district. And for 75 James, you're looking at $148,228 in 4 years. Statistically, in the last 5 years, condos have appreciated within the Hamilton area by 14% per year. Okay, I've broken down the numbers. That's what it is. But I want to be realistic and give you that 5% because that's probably the minimum that you're going to see in appreciation. Okay. Not only that, the design district, again, is a landmark condo in collaboration with Louis Vuitton, really a one-of-a-kind building. And because of that, and in addition to it being a master plan community of 3 buildings, it can potentially appreciate even more than that. Okay. So just want to compare the two. So again, to summarize, so 75 James condo, you're getting $53,000 in total value with all of the incentives that they're providing. In the design district, you're getting $86,400 in incentives that they're providing. Again, 75 James is priced slightly lower for now than the design district, but the design district has more incentives that they're offering, and potential price growth might be slightly higher because of that landmark piece with the Louis Vuitton collaboration. So it wouldn't be fair to give you this information on these two projects without talking about another project that launched in Hamilton, where investors seen incredible return. Okay, so many of you probably don't know about this project, but it's called One Jarvis. It launched February of 2021. And I remember this condo very, 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 very well. It's, central Hamilton, great location. It wasn't even in the downtown core. It was just central Hamilton. One bedrooms are priced from the 300 range, so 370, 390. I still have the price list and information package for that project. Cost per square foot at the time was about $813. Completion is set for January 2024. They had about 354 units. They received over 2,000 worksheets for 354 units. A lot of buyers were disappointed, unfortunately. That was actually very common. A lot of the projects that launched during the pandemic, a lot of buyers weren't able to buy. The demand was just that high, right? With interest rates being that low. But those buyers who purchased at One Jarvis last year, February, they've already made $200,000 in 2 years on their purchase. Okay, they've already made that. For the design district, just to compare, again, I'm being very, very safe with the 5% yearly appreciation. You might make $200,000 in 2 years. The analytics are there for you to potentially make that, but I definitely want to think as a safe approach and just have that healthy 5% yearly appreciation. And quite honestly, a healthy market is about 5 to 7% annual appreciation, not this 40%, 50% that we were seeing in the last couple of years. So, if you can make that 123,913 in 4 years, how rewarding is that, right? That's like what, a $25,000 plus additional income that you're making every year the next couple of years, right? So just to compare. So, and I want you guys to answer in the chat. If all this did was make you an extra $123,913 in 4 years, would this investment be worth it? Put yes or no in the chat if you agree. If this one investment could help to turn one investment property into 2, would it be worth it? Okay, so increase your portfolio, right? Because when you see investors that have 10 properties, some of them put down $5,000 on a pre-construction property 10 years ago and leverage that property to now have 10. It's very possible. You just got to start. If this opportunity allowed you to gain generational wealth for you and your family and potentially stop renting, would it be worth it? Right? So, that's how you have to think. So again, guys, the decision is really yours. I'm not here to pressure anybody. I think you being on this call speaks volumes that you obviously want to better your situation, your family's situation. You really can do that and really build some good wealth. This is really an opportunity of a lifetime. You can start initial deposit just $5,000. I provided a QR code. You can complete the reservation form to reserve your unit. There's no obligation once you complete the form. my team will contact you, and then we'll go through the process and you'll have an opportunity to secure a unit. These incentives are as of today. If you call me tomorrow morning and you say, Tish, I want to buy a 2-bedroom at the design district, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if the incentives are going to still exist, because things can change on a fly, especially with the holidays coming around. A lot of people are going to be at home, not doing as much. So, you know, yeah, we have available units right now. We don't have a lot of available units, but things will go very quick in the next couple of days, I'm sure. If you want some more clarity, if you want to talk more about some other opportunities as well, book a call with me. I'm going to include some of the information in the chat. Like, I'll include the link to the worksheet and the link to book a call with me in the chat. So let's do that. And then we'll also answer some questions, because I'm sure we have some questions. So let's put that information in the chat for a minute. And yes, I will be emailing the details for both projects in the chat. So if you have questions, be sure to put it in the chat. I'm going to get to those questions very shortly. So I just put the link to reserve a unit in the chat. And then if you need a call with me, guys, more than happy to book that with you, and we can go through a few different options for you. I'm happy to go through this presentation with you in a little bit more detail. So feel free to do that. Yeah, so I just included both links in the chat. So let's go through some of the questions. So Hamilton is beautiful, students, and much more. When you're from occupancy or from closing. So I don't know what you mean by that, when you're from occupancy or closing. So what are the names of the builders? So for the design district, it's built by Emblem Development, very well-known builder. For 75 Janes, it's built by Fengate and High Rise. Yes, I'll email details on both projects to everybody who attended. So the rental and guarantee and maintenance is from occupancy or after closing. So that's a really good question. The rental guarantee will likely start after closing. So another question about emailing details, I'll definitely do that. If there are any other questions? I have somebody saying it's a dream. So it can definitely happen, guys. If you are a first-time home buyer wondering how, again, you can enter the market, I've dropped some really good gems, but I'm happy to have a call with you to go through a plan to help you in entering the market, because I was a first-time home buyer myself at one point, and I know it can sometimes feel like it is a dream, but it's very, very possible. Does it work for a work permit holder? So there is some opportunities there for you to purchase if you do have a work permit. It all depends on your situation. So book a call with me and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. Any other questions? And I'll share my screen in case there's people who want to use that link. Again, I've included the link in the chat with the information to book a unit or to book a call with me. And then, so which would you suggest to be the better investment of the two? Oh goodness, I think both provide pros and cons. I think the design district definitely will appreciate and value at a great rate because it will be a landmark building. You're getting $80,000 in incentives. And then for 75 James, I think, the incentive package is a little bit lower, just over 50,000. But I do think that project will also appreciate an incredible value as well. The pricing per square foot is a little bit lower, so opportunity there as well to see that greater price cost, right? Or price appreciation over the next couple of years. Is there additional cost for higher floors? So yes, for these condos, there usually is a floor premium, anywhere between $500 to $1,000. I bought a pre-con townhome last year and I'm on a variable rate. Would you suggest refinancing to invest into something else given the high interest rates currently? So there's a lot of things that I have to look into. It depends on where you bought the pre-construction townhome. So we have to look into, that area, what home values are going for at the moment, how much you paid for the pre-construction townhome. So book a call with me or call me and then we can talk about your situation in a little bit more detail. So yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. I'll put up the presentation again. And I will be sending out a replay of the presentation, so you can expect that. Another question, could I still purchase a home and hold one of these on assignment? So I think you're referring to, can you still purchase like a resale home and hold one of these pre-construction properties and sell as an assignment? So, with these builders, they're both offering the right to assign. So you have the free right to assign the unit. You can do that. You don't want to purchase a pre-construction project with the intention of assigning. We always try to tell investors to try to hold on for at least 5 years if possible. You'll likely see price depreciation. Of course, you buy low, you sell high, whenever it's fit for your needs. But yeah, we have to look at your situation to see what makes the most sense. So happy to book a call with you and we can go through what makes sense based on your particular situation. Any other questions? And I've had a lot of investors who've made a lot of money by selling their properties as assignment after purchasing, and you can do that, but I always try to play things safe. You always want to be safe with real estate. That's how you stay on the winning end. Don't take risks. Low risk, low stress. Okay, so again, I'm going to be emailing you guys some information on the project. You also have a link to book a meeting with me in the email. You'll also have that link to reserve a unit. So if you have any questions, guys, book a call with me, give me a call. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. Thanks again for joining the call. I'm hoping you guys got a ton of value from this. Really excited to help all of you with your home search and investment property search. And, it's very much possible. It's doable. I was a first time home buyer at one point. So I hope that in itself inspires you. All right, guys, have a great night. Take care.